Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women, a space where your voice matters, your body is sacred, and your journey home to yourself is always honored, no matter how winding the road. I'm Autumn Moran, licensed professional counselor, life coach, and yoga instructor. And today we're diving into something that may feel familiar and may even be invisible, and that is masking. If you've ever felt exhausted after socializing, like you're performing just to be okay, or like your energy is drained by simply being around others, this episode is for you. First, I'd like to invite you to take a nice deep breath with me. Inhale gently through the nose. Exhale it out slowly. One more time. And this time on the exhale, let it out through your mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it out. And just notice your body for a moment. How does it feel when you think about your interactions this week? If it feels heavy or tense, know this. What you're experiencing is real, and it's likely that you're masking. Something we do sometimes without knowing because it's helped us to survive. So today, that's what I'm going to explore. That's what we'll explore together is what masking is, how it shows up in daily life, what it costs you, and how to begin to unmask safely and compassionately towards yourself, like in a compassionate way towards yourself. All right, what is masking? Masking is the process of hiding or suppressing parts of yourself, hiding your emotions, hiding your thoughts, hiding your behaviors, or even hiding your reactions, just so you can fit in, to avoid judgment, or to protect yourself from conflict or harm. Many of us don't even realize that we're masking because it often feels automatic. It's like just who we are when we're around others. Masking isn't about a choice in the typical sense. It's a survival mechanism. It's a learned strategy your nervous system developed to help you navigate social situations safely, especially if you grew up needing to manage other people's emotions or expectations, you had to navigate trauma, or you had to suppress your neurodivergent traits without even maybe knowing they were neurodivergent. You're being too lazy, you're being too messy, you're being too loud, you're being too sensitive, you're too dramatic. Oh, here comes the drama queen. Yeah, that's people not knowing you were neurodivergent and suppressing instead of accommodating. So here we are. Why do we do this? Why do we mask? I've said a little bit about it, right? Essentially survival. It's a survival mechanism. We hide our true feelings because our nervous system has learned that expressing certain emotions could lead to conflict, rejection, or even punishment. And by hiding them, we try to stay safe and maintain social harmony. So we mask for safety to protect us from criticism, rejection, or punishment. We even alter our behaviors in the way we may adapt our tone, our gestures, or our energy to match what we think others expect. This is often a strategy to avoid standing out or being criticized, especially in environments that reward conformity, neurotypicalness, corporate environments. We mask for social acceptance. Culture often rewards conformity, politeness, and quote-unquote keeping it all together, while punishing authenticity in subtle ways. And masking shows up with us, for us, in our daily lives as we ignore our personal needs, like rest, boundaries, or just our own personal preferences, because it helps us prevent discomfort or inconvenience for others. It can feel like a way to keep relationships or situations stable, even at our own expense. We mask because we have adapted. This helps navigate environments designed for neurotypical expectations, but it comes at a very high cost to us, high energy cost. And we mirror others. This is a form of masking. We copy how others act, speak, or react in a way to blend in or feel accepted. Our brains are wired to seek social safety, and mimicking others can temporarily reduce the risk of rejection. So how does it show up in our daily lives? First off, in social situations where we smile and nod when you're feeling anxious, irritated, or tired. And if you're unmasked, you would say something like, I need a moment, and you would step away to recharge. Secondly, it shows up in suppressing our opinions. We agree with the group even if you think differently. And the unmasked version of that is sharing your honest perspective, even if it feels uncomfortable. Over-polished behavior is another way masking shows up. Monitoring every word, every gesture, every facial expression to appear quote unquote normal. The unmasked way? Speaking spontaneously without filtering every action, letting you be who you are, engaging how you are, whether it's awkward, whether the conversation gets silent. These are just ways for you to learn how to have social skills. The way you learn to be social authentically is by showing up authentically and adjusting or nuancing as needed. We hide our sensory or emotional responses. We ignore sensory overload or intense feelings to blend in. And an unmasked version of this is using your tools or boundaries to honor your nervous system. Those loop earplugs or noise canceling headphones are beautiful. Dimming the lights, putting on some sunglasses if it's too bright, wearing comfortable clothing, having a fidget or something in your hand or pocket. And we minimize. Another way of masking is minimizing our achievements and minimizing our struggles. I'm fine. It's fine. This is no big deal. Yeah, that was something I did. That's no big deal. Downplaying your wins and challenges to avoid attention or judgment. The unmasked version of that, sharing your successes and sharing your challenges with trusted people authentically. I say this heavily with the trusted people because neurodivergent experiences, you let yourself out there, you put yourself out, all your light shining, and then people kind of knock it down. People kind of push it aside. People might ignore it or judge it. And then you feel some sort of way for being authentic, right? So know who to be authentic around. If there are people you feel you can't be authentic around, how can you minimize your access to them or their access to you? Surround yourself with people that you can be authentic around. And if you feel isolated right now and say, it's just me, I'm the only one I can be real around, look for a support group. Look for a Facebook group. Look on Threads. There are resources where we can find like-minded people to help us validate our experience and just kind of bat off of each other. And then we mimic, we mirror, right? I said that earlier, it shows up. We adopt tones, humors, and mannerisms to fit in. So how is that unmasked? What does that look like unmasked? Expressing your natural voice and body language. I'm here with my voice. This is me. This is who I show up as. I'm not trying to make it lighter or prettier or softer. This is just who I am. And that's what I encourage you to do. Like, be yourself. Let it come out naturally. So like an example of like day to day, right? You go to a friend's gathering. On the outside, you're smiling, laughing, engaging. But on the inside, what's going on? Your body is braced. Your stomach is tight. Your jaws are clenched. Your mind's like saying, please get me out of here. I just want to go home. That mask makes others comfortable, but costs you dearly because then you'll have to recoup. Will you have energy after the experience, or are you going to need more time, like the next day to recoup or the next 2 days, depending on how heavy it is, how overwhelming it is? So I'd like for you to have a thought. This is my thought prompt. Think about this, journal it, whatever you want to do, but give it a thought. Where in your life are you smoothing over feelings or performing? Where in your life are you smoothing over feelings or performing? And what would it feel like to be fully seen, even in a small way? A little less smoothing over, a little less performing. Masks protect us short term, but over time it depletes our energy. Even short periods of time, it depletes our energy and disconnects us from our mind. Our mind and body get disconnected. And constantly holding it together, being just fine, trains the nervous system to stay in hypervigilance, which can look like anxiety, fatigue, irritability, or emotional shutdown. And sometimes we don't even realize how much we're holding back until we pause and notice. Because masking is essentially hiding parts of yourself to protect yourself. So let's talk about masking and unmasking in different life areas. And I want to start with yourself. First off, ignoring your physical needs. Skipping meals, overworking, avoiding sleep while you're telling yourself you'll rest later, even though your body is screaming for it now. Suppressing your emotions, convincing yourself that anger, sadness, or fear isn't acceptable, and pushing it down with logic or distraction or intellectualizing it away, knowing what you know in your mind, even though your body's like, hey, I'm still wired for survival, help me. You use perfectionism as a mask, using overachievement or constant productivity to avoid feeling inadequate or not enough. If you find yourself going, that's your sign. You need to stop, slow down, deal with whatever it is you're running from or that makes you feel uncomfortable. We numb, turning to food, scrolling, alcohol, or other distractions to avoid sitting with uncomfortable feelings. We self-criticize, we mask self-doubt or vulnerability with an internal monologue of harshness that says, I can't feel this, I shouldn't feel this way, I have to tough it out, just stick it through. We overthink, we intellectualize, we analyze every feeling or situation instead of actually feeling it, as if understanding it logically will make it just disappear. It doesn't. You've got the body, you've got the nervous system to heal as well. People pleasing inwardly, telling yourself to just be patient, just push through, even when it's causing stress, as a way to stay in control or be acceptable to your own standards. I know you want to lay down, I know you want to rest, but we got to show up and put that full face of makeup on and go help JoJo with his little happy basket. I don't know. Things people fill their days up with instead of just taking care of themselves. Masking identity aspects, pretending to be someone you think your ideal self should be, more confident, calmer, and happier, while denying your current authentic state. Pretending, faking it. You minimize your needs. You ignore your hobbies, your passions, or your desires because you think that they aren't productive or they're not important, that you should be doing something else, you should be helping someone else, you should be doing this for so-and-so, or telling yourself you'll get to it someday. And then last but not least, we avoid inner conflict. We pretend we're okay with certain choices or situations to avoid facing discomfort, uncertainty, or regret. Don't let fear keep you stuck. False evidence appearing real, FEAR. That fear is keeping you stuck. Do not pretend that your choices and situations aren't uncomfortable, aren't regrettable. Like, you can regret something and fix it and move forward. Don't stay stuck just because of fear. It's okay to make a mistake. That's life. All right. That's my list. That's my list of how you can mask for yourself. These are ways that you are pretending to be something that you're not. And what does it look like to unmask with yourself? Simple, not easy. And I'm going to list a few things, and I encourage you to grab one. Whatever resonates with you, start small, but grab one. Listen to your body when it signals fatigue, hunger, or tension. If you're feeling some sort of way that's not pleasant, ask yourself, HALT, HALT. Am I hungry, angry, lonely, tired? Hungry? Sis, eat. Hydrate. Angry? Scream it out, journal it out, talk it out, go for a run, do some dancing, work it out. Lonely? Phone a friend, reach out to somebody, or self-soothe in some way. Tired? That doesn't mean just sleepy tired. That means exhaustion tired. Then take a fucking break. Rest before you proceed. How about naming your emotions without judgment? I feel frustrated and tired, and that's okay, because it is okay. Allow yourself to feel emotions without judgment, without repression, suppression, or ignoring it. And give yourself permission to rest, pause, or say no internally before anyone else asks. It's okay to say no. Allow imperfection and acknowledge your current state without pushing to fix it immediately. Today's a tough day. This moment right now, I just want to kick and scream and throw that bucket across the room because I'm so tired of not being heard. Right? You're not trying to fix it. You're not trying to make it go away. You're not trying to tell yourself, don't think that. You're just saying, this is how I feel. Now let's pivot and take a breath. Let's pivot and take a beat. Let's pivot and walk away. Like, what can you do? You're not, just allow the emotions to be there without fixing them. And engage in practices that honor your needs. Journaling, meditating, body movement, tai chi, yoga, stretching. Noticing your body sensations, doing a progressive muscle relaxation every night or every morning, whichever one feels good to you, maybe both. Progressive muscle relaxation is where you start at your feet or your hands, wherever you want to start, but you squeeze, like I'm going to start with my fist. So I squeeze my hands into a fist for 5 to 10 seconds, and then I relax for 10 seconds. And then I'll tense up my forearm for 5 to 10 seconds and then release. Same thing with my biceps, my chest, my face, my back, my belly, my bum, my legs, all the way down to my toes. And then once I do one by one, I'll squeeze everything, squeeze, as tight as you can, and then relax as heavy. Let it all go. Just melt into whatever you're laying on or sitting on. Masking with the self happens when we deny, suppress, or overmanage our own feelings, needs, and desires so that we appear okay internally, even when no one else is watching. Unmasking begins by noticing these patterns, honoring your emotions. Honor your emotions. Honor your emotions and bodily cues. And allow yourself to respond with self-compassion instead of judgment and control. So what does masking look like at home, families, and partners? That might look like smiling and laughing when you're actually upset, keeping your thoughts to yourself to avoid conflict. Maybe if you bring something up, it ends in a battle, so you hold it all in. Maybe you hold in frustration, resentment, or fatigue to keep the peace. Unmasking here means expressing your feelings honestly. If it's with a partner, if it's with a family member, if it's with people you cohabitate with or don't, have a relationship meeting once a week if you can. Once a month if it's absolutely too much, once a week. How am I doing? How are you doing? I'd like to talk about the things that didn't get settled in the week. This is about business for the relationship. We're going to meet and we're going to talk about business. How I need support, how you need support, what we need to do this week, what's on calendar for this week, what we'd like to do for fun, where I need help, where I need extra support, where you need help, where you need extra support, right? Share. Maybe it's asking for space when you need it, sharing that you're overwhelmed, or being vulnerable with your partner or family. It's not about being hurtful. It's about being real and just saying, this is my experience. Can we slow down? Can we accommodate this? And it's not to be used as a weapon. And I don't assume any neurodivergent person would use it as a weapon. But this is a way of just saying, I feel XYZ. When you XYZ, what would be helpful is XYZ. Not, you do this all the time. I can't stand it when you do this. When you put the music too loud, you know I can't handle it. None of that. I feel overwhelmed when the music is very loud. What I need from you is just to turn it down so it's not going over the conversation. All right. So what about at work, professional settings? Many of us mask at work. We act like we have it all together. We hide our anxiety. We hide our imposter syndrome, or we avoid asking questions because we're afraid of looking incompetent. We become performers of professionalism, often at the cost of our nervous system. And unmasking at work isn't about oversharing or being careless. It's about authenticity, admitting when you need support, asking the questions, delegating when appropriate, and showing your natural reactions without apologizing for them. But also, this is about asking for accommodations in the workspace. ADA accommodations. You can use noise-canceling headphones, maybe a softer lighting, a more private office. These are all can be attained or asked for. And with friends, how does it show up? Let's see. It might look like agreeing with everything someone says just to avoid conflict, or hiding the things that really matter to you. You might laugh at jokes you don't find funny, or avoid sharing your true feelings. And, unmasking's simple, not easy. But unmasking here is sharing your opinions, your preferences, and your boundaries. Hey, I feel uncomfortable when you joke about XYZ. Could we not joke about that anymore? Could we not have those jokes around? That makes me feel really uncomfortable. It's letting your friends see the real you, even if it feels vulnerable, right? It is going to be vulnerable. You gotta kind of have to be vulnerable in relationships. Not kinda, you gotta. What about in the public? What about with strangers? Masking in public often shows up as presenting as polished, in like a neutral version of yourself, smiling when you don't feel like it, suppressing your quirks, or hiding reactions to things that bother you. And unmasking can be small and subtle. Maybe it's letting your natural humor or tone of voice come through. Maybe it's showing your curiosity or letting your authentic self shine in ways that feel safe. And then lastly, my category for in and around the world for masking is social media. Because then there's masking online. Posting only the perfect moments, editing your life, hiding struggles or your off days. So unmasking in social media use might mean sharing ordinary moments, real challenges, or authentic reflections. Not for validation, but as a practice in being seen as you truly are. So key takeaway for unmasking, it's not about being reckless or showing everything all at once. It's about letting your real self show up in places where you've been hiding, in ways that feel safe. I mean, small shifts, like checking in with yourself, saying what you need, or letting someone see your fatigue or acts of unmasking. So I'd like to ask you, take a moment, another thought prompt. Where in your life might you be asking, sorry, I'll do this again. Where in your life might you be masking without even realizing it? So where in life do you feel like anything I've said so far, you were like, oh, shit. Okay, so maybe I do a little masking. And what would it feel like to take one small step towards showing up more as yourself? A little less masked, a little piece of the mask fall off. And I encourage you to start in a safe space. Don't choose the most unsafest space and say, I'm going to unmask, because it might just shake it all up. Might be a lot. Start small, baby steps. Just think of one area of your life where you constantly hold it together. How might your interactions feel if you allowed yourself small, safe acts of unmasking? And I want to speak a little bit about the nervous system connection here, because masking activates your sympathetic, your fight or flight, or your dorsal vagal, your shutdown systems. So masking can send you into fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn, right? If you're in the sympathetic fight or flight, your body is tense, anxious, and braced. Your heart may be racing even when your mind knows it's safe. When you're in dorsal vagal shutdown, your body shuts down. You feel numb, flat, and disconnected, maybe just going through the motions and not having any say-so about it. And unmasking is a slow nervous system practice. This is creating conditions where your body feels safe to show what it actually feels. So let's do a little somatic check-in if you're safe to do it. Place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, and breathe in. And breathe out. Do you notice any tension? Where is the tension living in your body? Your neck? Your shoulders? Your heart? Your stomach? Your hips? Your knees? Your feet? Name one place your body feels masked. You can say something like, I notice my shoulders are tight because I'm holding it all together. All right. Just checking in with the nervous system. Take a nice deep breath. Shake it out if you want to. I see you, tension, and I'm one step closer to tending to you. I see you, masked version that's tense, and I'm one step closer. I'm here working on you. So first, I've said this a couple of times, and it's very important. Identify safe spaces, right? If you want to unmask, there are some small steps we can take. But first small step is identify a safe space. Begin with moments or people where you can show more authenticity, where you feel the safest. Practice small acts. Share one opinion, express one need, or show one emotion you usually hide. Journal about the experience. Talk to your therapist about the experience. Process it. Journaling. Track your moments where you mask and imagine what unmasking. I'm slanging today. Track your moments where you mask and journal and imagine what unmasking could feel like. Yeah, I like that one. That's fun, right? Like, what would it look like if I didn't just smile and nod at Mary every time she said a racist comment? Right? It doesn't have to be that extreme, but that's where my brain went. Body awareness, noticing the sensations during interactions, right? Breathe into the tension rather than trying to smooth it out. If you notice you're getting tense, breathe, ground, wiggle your toes, feel where your feet are, look at around the room and see what colors you see. And then lastly, and most importantly, besides the safe space, is to have self-compassion. Because I would like for you to remind yourself that your masking is and was a survival strategy. And it's okay to peel back those layers slowly and gently because it's kept you safe up to this point. So thought prompt, journal prompt. What's one small unmasking I can do this week that feels safe? What is one small thing, one small unmasking I can do this week that feels safe for me? And then you chip away at it. And then the next week, do another. And then the next week, do another. And keep adding on until you are unmasked and fully and authentically yourself, unapologetically, guilt-free. It is a beautiful place to be. Masking is common. often invisible and always exhausting. But recognizing it is the first step toward freedom, my dears. I promise you, you don't have to do it alone. Whether it's therapy, coaching, or a gentle self-practice, there are ways to support your nervous system while reclaiming your authentic self. I encourage you to seek out a life coach or a therapist that is neurodivergent affirming and trained and niched in neurodivergentness, if that's a word, so as you can get the most support and help and accommodations that you need. You don't have to do this alone, and I encourage you not to do it alone. We're better when we're supported. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale, exhale, whatever you want to do, out of the nose, out of the mouth. And repeat to yourself, my mind knows, my body feels, both are valid, and I'm learning to show up as me. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for noticing, and please thank yourself for starting to unmask safely. This is a fucking game changer. If this episode helped you feel more understood, less alone, please share it with someone, another woman, another neurodivergent woman who you think might need it. I'd love to hear from you. Message me, comment, or follow. And going back to finding that therapist, I'm here for you. I offer private sessions of virtual therapy if you're in Texas and virtual life coaching if you're outside the state or abroad. Whether you're healing from trauma, navigating big life shifts, or just ready to unmask and throw this mask away layer by layer, I am here for you. It is my great privilege and honor and blessing and just life's purpose to hold space for women just like you every day, every week. If that's something you're curious about, you can fill out a consultation request form via my link tree in the show notes. Also, I have you a good playlist on Spotify that is all yummy good women empowering music. And there's some more ADHD resources. Overall, my dears, just please remember you're never too much and you're never too late. And you don't have to figure this out all alone. Until next time, my dears, may you be happy and free. May mine and your healing ripple outward to bless this world with happiness and freedom. Take care of you, and I'll see you soon.